Throughout life, we have all faced those moments of sadness and desolation that lead us to ask why there is so much pain. Is there really a way out of this darkness? These are moments when it seems there is no way out, that we are incapable of finding the reason for so much suffering. Now I ask you, have you ever thought that behind so much darkness lies a higher meaning, a reason why everything makes sense? That, my friend, is the purpose of this video. To explore Stoic lessons that guide you through sadness and difficult moments. Here, you will find teachings that will strengthen your resilience against any adversity. Whether you are in a personal crisis or just need a little encouragement in your daily life, I invite you to absorb these teachings, allowing them to nourish your spirit and lift your spirits. Now, if you are new here, please like the video and subscribe. Statistics show that only 15% of my audience is subscribed to the channel, so if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now, let's start this transformative journey together. 1. The acceptance of what we cannot change. Throughout our lives, we encounter an inevitable reality, the incessant change of the circumstances around us. Faced with this reality, how can we act? What options do we have when we cannot alter what happens around us? The Stoics taught us how to respond to what we cannot control by accepting what is beyond our reach. Although this concept may seem simple, applying it in our daily lives can be a complex and profound challenge. In the words of the Stoic philosopher and Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, "Accept what is given to you as if you had chosen it yourself." This quote invites us to embrace reality as it is without futilely fighting against what is beyond our reach. Can you stop the wind with your hands? No, right? Just as the wind blows with relentless force, learn to adjust your sails to navigate the circumstances of life. When you doubt your ability to accept the challenges you face, think of Epictetus, the philosopher who was a slave. Despite his years of slavery, Epictetus taught us the power of resilience and acceptance, demonstrating that true freedom lies in how we respond internally to what surrounds us. Have you ever observed how water flows around rocks in a stream? Just as water effortlessly adapts to the environment it encounters, we must learn to adapt and flow through life's difficulties. Remember always that suffering comes from resisting reality. Think of a bird trapped in a cage, how it beats its wings desperately against the closed bars. This futile effort is similar to our own struggle when we face situations beyond our control and refuse to accept them. Suffering emerges from this relentless resistance to what we cannot change. As Epictetus taught us, do not seek for things to happen as you wish. Rather, wish for them to happen as they do, and you will be happy. By understanding and accepting our limitations, we can find the strength to grow and transform pain into a path toward resilience and personal growth. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius, "Accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people with whom fate brings you together." In acceptance and love, you will find profound freedom, turning each challenge into an opportunity to improve and strengthen your spirit. 2. Resisting adversity. The Stoics taught us that adversity not only tests our resilience, but also offers us the opportunity to develop our greatest potential. But how can we use the most complex challenges to better ourselves? As the Stoic philosopher Seneca taught us, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove his strength." These words highlight that we should not see adversity as our enemy, but as a valuable opportunity to strengthen ourselves, an essential challenge that allows us to grow and develop our resilience. Have you ever wondered why trees exposed to constant winds develop stronger roots? This natural adaptation is a clear example of how adversity strengthens. Similarly, each challenge you face better prepares you for the future, strengthening your character and increasing your ability to endure adverse circumstances. Like those trees, within you lies the ability to turn each storm into a source of strength, a resilience that allows you to rise each time you fall and transforms you into the hero of your own story. Let's take the life of the renowned theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking as an example. He did not allow his severe medical condition to limit his potential. Despite the progressive paralysis imposed by his disease, Hawking defied medical expectations and physical barriers, making fundamental contributions to our understanding of the universe while forming a family and living a full life. Instead of succumbing to discouragement, he adopted a stoic attitude toward obstacles, demonstrating his resilience and ability to withstand adversity. This determination made him one of the most influential physicists in history, revolutionizing modern cosmology with his theories, demonstrating how adversity can be channeled into a source of inspiration and discovery. So, as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught us, the story of the British scientist teaches us that we should not wish for things to be easier. We should wish to be stronger and wiser, to face them and come out stronger. So, in the face of adversities, instead of asking yourself, "What did I do to deserve this?" ask yourself, "How can I use this experience to improve? What skills do I need to develop to overcome this challenge?" Remember, you have the power to transform every challenge into an opportunity for growth. Never underestimate your power of resilience. Within you resides unimaginable strength. 3. The control of emotions. The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, provide us with valuable lessons on how we can control our emotions. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that the life of a man is what his thoughts make of it. This quote teaches us that it is we ourselves, with our thoughts, who shape our lives, not external circumstances, nor what those around us think or say. So, if we cultivate positive and constructive thoughts, our life experience will be much happier and more serene. But how do we apply this to our daily lives? What changes can we make to improve the quality of our thoughts and, therefore, our lives? A valuable approach is the practice of emotional detachment. Imagine you are in an important meeting and someone expresses harsh criticism of your work. Instead of responding defensively, adopt a stoic perspective. Recognize that you cannot control others' opinions, but you can choose how to respond to them. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught us that it is not the events that disturb us, but our interpretations of those events. If you interpret criticism as an unacceptable personal attack, you will be filled with anger and unable to respond calmly. However, if you take a breath before responding and ask yourself, "What can I learn from this criticism?" you will be giving yourself the opportunity to learn and improve. You will be able to maintain calm and act constructively. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Serenity is the armor of the soul." Among the Stoic philosophers, we find extraordinary examples of emotional control in extreme circumstances. Epictetus, despite his condition as a slave, maintained impressive serenity and balance even under the oppression of slavery. He taught and practiced the idea that our internal freedom cannot be taken away by external circumstances. Seneca, on the other hand, demonstrated similar emotional strength during his exile. Despite being taken away from his life and home in Rome, he always maintained a serene attitude and continued writing masterful works on ethics and philosophy. These examples teach us that true freedom is internal freedom, the ability to maintain peace and serenity regardless of external conditions. Now, how can we cultivate this mental peace in our daily lives? One of the most powerful practices is mindfulness. To develop it, simply dedicate a few minutes daily to focus on your breathing. Observe how the air enters and leaves, and whenever your mind wanders, gently bring your attention back to your breath. This simple practice will help you stay anchored in the present, reducing stress and cultivating serenity amid daily chaos. Keeping a gratitude journal can also help us manage our emotions. Dedicate a moment of the day to write about the things you are grateful for, big or small. This practice helps you appreciate your life more and promotes a more positive mood. Reflection is another powerful tool for improving our emotional control. Take a moment at the end of the day to analyze whether your actions have aligned with your values and long-term goals. This will help deepen your sense of purpose and ultimately bring you great personal satisfaction. Remember what Marcus Aurelius taught us. Within you, there is a tranquility that you can retreat to at any time. These practices not only help us maintain a serene mood, but also allow us to live with greater harmony and purpose. 4. Patience as a virtue. Patience in our times of immediacy stands as an extraordinary quality, a beacon that guides us towards the peace and inner serenity that the Stoics so valued. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, "Time is a river of events, and one thing cannot be hurried beyond its limits." With this quote, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor reminds us that everything has its own pace, and that hurrying only generates frustration and anxiety. True strength lies in knowing how to wait and maintain calm, as patience leads us to deeper and more lasting results. Let us reflect for a moment on the impact of patience. This quality is not simply a virtue, but a powerful ally in our quest for well-being. Impatience generates stress and discontent, while patience brings tranquility and mental clarity. Think about how you feel when you try to force a situation, pushing for immediate results. When we try to speed up processes that require their natural time, we end up with worse results and probably filled with anxiety and frustration. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, "What is rushed is exposed to rapid decay. Time is the greatest maker of good judgment." The wise philosopher teaches us through this quote that nature has its own rhythms, and respecting them is crucial for our mental balance. A farmer who sows his seeds and, in his impatience, tries to accelerate the growth of his plants by applying excessive fertilizers and watering more than necessary, will find that instead of getting a bountiful and healthy harvest, the plants wither and the fruits are scarce. This excess effort not only damages the plants, but also leaves the farmer exhausted and discouraged. Similarly, in our daily lives, trying to force a promotion at work or rushing the recovery from an illness can lead to disappointment and exhaustion. Patience, on the other hand, allows us to move forward with serenity and wisdom, accepting the time each process needs to develop fully. How then can we develop this virtue in challenging moments? There are many strategies, but they all focus on one principle: self-control. First, accept reality as it is, understanding that acting impatiently will not improve the situation. Then, start using moments of waiting as opportunities to practice meditation or mindfulness, focusing on the present. Another powerful practice is deep breathing, which will help calm your mind. You can also employ visualization techniques, imagining a peaceful place where you feel safe and relaxed. Additionally, cultivate gratitude for the lessons adversity brings you, recognizing that each challenge is an opportunity for personal growth. These practices will help you maintain serenity and act calmly when faced with stressful and anxiety-inducing situations. Daily life is full of situations that challenge our patience, like being stuck on a customer service call or facing delays in public transportation. However, with these practical tips, we can transform these moments into opportunities to strengthen this valuable virtue. As the Stoics taught us, it is essential to cultivate patience in our day-to-day lives. Always remember the words of Epictetus: "Do not rush in anything, and everything will be achieved in due time." 5. The importance of empathy. In a world where human connection is often lost in the daily hustle and bustle, empathy shines like a saving light, capable of illuminating even the darkest moments. It becomes the bond that unites our hearts and the common language of understanding and compassion. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "Let us try to enter the soul of another person. Let us walk in their shoes." This idea is the foundation upon which the importance of empathy in our lives stands. The words of wise men throughout history constantly remind us of the importance of understanding and connecting with the emotions of others. From Seneca's writings to the contemporary teachings of opinion, leaders like Martin Luther King, empathy and love for our fellow beings stand as the foundation of authentic and enriching relationships. They show us the vital need to deeply understand and connect with the feelings of others. Imagine this scene. A neighbor tells you that they have just lost a loved one, expressing their deep pain and sadness. Instead of simply nodding and changing the subject, you take a moment to listen attentively and express your sincerest support. You also share your own experiences of loss, creating a moment of deep connection. This act of empathy not only strengthens your relationship with your neighbor, but also offers genuine comfort, making them feel understood and supported. Cultivating empathy is not something fortuitous. It is a conscious decision we must make every day. But how can we do this? Through small gestures and meaningful actions, as we have seen in the previous example. Listening attentively and providing genuine support to those in need is the first step. Practicing compassion exercises, such as meditation, aimed at developing feelings of empathy, can help us maintain a more receptive and understanding attitude towards others. As Marcus Aurelius taught us, when you have the opportunity to show affection, do not let it pass. It is important to understand that empathy does not stop at fleeting words of comfort. The true power lies in accompanying words with action. If a friend expresses that they are overwhelmed by work, in addition to listening and showing understanding, you can offer your help with a specific task or propose an activity that allows them to relax and clear their mind. Another example could be supporting a charitable cause. Instead of limiting yourself to a one-time donation, you can volunteer and contribute directly, seeing firsthand the impact of your help. These small actions teach us that grand gestures are not necessary to develop empathy and enrich our lives and those around us. With simple everyday gestures, we can contribute to creating a more understanding and supportive world. 6. The power of perspective. What if I told you that you have the power to transform everything that happens around you simply by changing something within you? Yes, it is exactly as it sounds. The Stoics taught us that it is our perspective on events, not the events themselves, that truly shapes our reality. Imagine that you suddenly lose the job to which you have dedicated years of effort and passion. It is a hard and unexpected blow. You have no alternative in sight and no plan to move forward. How do you think you would feel at this moment? It is likely that your mind would be submerged in a sea of shadows, seeing everything in a negative light and feeling that there is no way out. This is where the transformative power of perspective reveals itself. It is in your hands to change this gloomy vision for a completely different one. What do you think would happen if you decided to pause your mind for a moment and change your perspective? You could start asking yourself questions like, is this obstacle really insurmountable? Is it really the end of my professional career, or am I capable of using this drastic turn to my advantage and reinventing myself? This ability to reframe the situation, to see an end as a beginning, not only alleviates the initial emotional impact but also opens paths to new opportunities and ways of personal growth. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wrote in his discourses that when we face obstacles, we have the option to give them meaning. If we imagine it as a disaster, it becomes one. If we see it as an opportunity, we can transform it to our benefit. The Stoic perspective teaches us to look beyond the present moment and understand each challenge as an invitation to evolve and strengthen our character. We do not need to transport ourselves hundreds of years back to ancient Rome to see how a change of perspective can achieve the impossible. Consider the life of Ludwig van Beethoven, one of the most important classical music composers of all time, who faced adversity that could have silenced any musical career: the loss of his hearing. The German composer, due to his ailment, faced a deep and painful crisis, not only physically but emotionally. But instead of giving up, Beethoven achieved the impossible. He redefined his approach to music, adapting his technique and style to continue creating despite his limitation. He transformed his deafness into a source of innovation, reinventing his creative process, and in doing so, composed some of the most profound and relevant works of all time during his years of auditory isolation. As the Stoics teach us, in the history of the German composer, we see how behind every challenge and setback lies the possibility of growth, of becoming the sculptors of our own lives. So, my friend, mold your mind with the same dedication with which a gardener cultivates their garden. Cultivate gratitude, discovering beauty even on the greyest days, and practice acceptance, embracing life in its purest form without resisting or passing judgment. 7. The impermanence of everything. In the course of life, impermanence acts as an inescapable law. From the changing seasons to the constant beating of our hearts, everything is in a state of perpetual transformation. The Stoics, masters of practical philosophy, teach us this eternal truth that transcends eras and cultures. As Epictetus said, everything that has a beginning also has an end. This wisdom reminds us that everything is in constant motion. In the hustle and bustle of our daily lives, we often forget this essential truth and cling to the illusion that everything will remain the same. However, Stoic teachings urge us to reflect on the transient nature of our experiences. Marcus Aurelius compared life to a stream of water where each moment flows and cannot be retained. When we understand that everything is transitory, we free our minds from the suffering that comes from attachment to the inevitably fleeting. Accepting change and impermanence brings us profound inner peace. Seneca reminds us that nothing in the sight of eternity is certain and permanent, not even our suffering. By adopting an attitude of detachment towards our possessions and expectations, we free ourselves from the worries and anxieties that come with attachment to the transient. In this detachment we find freedom. We learn to enjoy the good because it will not last forever, and we learn to put the bad into perspective because it will not be eternal either. The Stoics found serenity in the midst of impermanence by focusing on what they could control, their thoughts and actions. For example, if they suffered a breakup, instead of lamenting endlessly, they reflected on the moments of love and personal growth that the relationship had brought them. This practice of acceptance and detachment allowed them to heal and open themselves to new connections without resistance. But how do we cultivate this serenity in the face of change in our daily lives? We can start by observing nature, noting how everything in it changes. The seasons follow one another, plants grow and wither. You can also keep a journal where you record your thoughts and feelings daily, reflecting on how they have changed over time. Another powerful practice is to dedicate a few minutes each day to meditation on impermanence, contemplating how everything around us is in constant flux. These practices can help you maintain a calm and balanced mind amid constant change. By accepting impermanence, we find a freedom that transcends the vicissitudes of life. As Seneca said, time discovers the truth. In accepting this, we find peace in the fluidity of life. In this flow, we discover the true peace and happiness that resides in the acceptance of our own transience. 8. The importance of self-knowledge. Stoicism teaches us that self-knowledge is the most valuable tool we possess, for it allows us to sculpt our own being with precise details and vivid colors. Throughout history, great thinkers from different cultures have highlighted the importance of self-knowledge. As Lao Tzu said, knowing others is wisdom, knowing oneself is enlightenment. Philosophers of all ages have agreed that true wisdom begins with the understanding of oneself. Have you ever wondered how well you really know yourself? I'm not talking about superficial likes or preferences. I am talking about who you are at your deepest level. Without this understanding, how can you make decisions that reflect your true self? You have now reached the halfway mark of the video. I congratulate you for trying to become a better version of yourself, and I also humbly ask you to leave a comment, as it helps my channel immensely. If you do not know what to comment, just write mind over body so I know you reached this far. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Also, I've linked some books on Stoicism that helped me become the man I am today, and will also help you achieve a Stoic mindset. Imagine an explorer venturing into a jungle without a map or compass. Wouldn't they be lost in the vast wilderness? Similarly, without a deep understanding of your strengths, weaknesses, and values, do you think you can navigate life with clear direction and purpose? Self-knowledge is not simply a mental exercise. It is the compass that guides our decisions, illuminates our actions, and shapes our destiny. Jordan Peterson, a globally recognized psychologist for his work on self-exploration and life's purpose, emphasizes the importance of facing oneself in his teachings. If you do not know yourself, you become a mystery to yourself, says Peterson. By exploring our inner self, we discover our true motivations and aspirations, as well as the fears that hold us back. The Stoics, with their practical and virtue-centered approach, understood the importance of self-knowledge in the quest for a meaningful life. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, look within. Within is the fountain of good, which will always spring up if you always dig. Imagine an artisan who, day after day, polishes a sculpture to reveal its perfect form. Now think of yourself as that sculpture. By reflecting and examining your actions and motivations, you are constantly working to align yourself with your deepest principles and values. To develop self-knowledge, we must commit to continuously exploring our thoughts, emotions, and motivations. As Tara Brach said, true freedom is being who we are, not who we think we should be. Keeping a journal offers you a way to process and understand your experiences, while practices like mindfulness allow you to observe your mind in action without judgment. Both are powerful habits that bring you closer to a deep understanding of yourself. 9. The strength of the present moment. In the chaos of modern existence, we often find ourselves trapped between memories of the past and uncertainties of the future. We forget that true life is lived in the present moment. Remember the wise words of Seneca, who teaches us that life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. The importance of being present is a central theme in the wisdom of all ages, from ancient Stoics to modern masters of meditation and mindfulness. The teachings of the wise Stoics are full of advice on living in the present with awareness and virtue. In the words of the Roman emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. The destiny hangs over you. While you live, while it is possible, be good. This quote from the wise Stoic philosopher reminds us that we must live in the now, being aware that it is the only thing we have and that we must make the most of it to do good as much as we can. The practice of being fully present stands out as a light in the darkness, guiding us towards serenity and mental clarity. By training our minds to focus on the present, we cultivate a sense of inner peace that transcends daily worries. Mindfulness is not just about meditating, but bringing this awareness to every daily activity. But how can we integrate conscious presence into our daily lives, full of distractions and urgent tasks? Here are some effective strategies. Conscious observation is a powerful tool. Dedicate a few moments to notice the details around you, such as sounds, colors, and textures. This simple act anchors you in the present, moving away from distractions of the past and future. Have you ever surprised yourself discovering something wonderful that was always there, but you never noticed until you had a moment of tranquility? Like the view of the sunset while driving home from work, or the sound of birds while walking in nature in the morning. That is the magic of flowing with the present. We discover wonderful things that were always there, but we were not able to see. By paying full attention, we find small gems in our daily lives that enrich our experience and connect us more deeply with the world around us. The Stoics, masters of inner tranquility, also valued the here and now as the key to a full life. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, reminds us, appreciate everything that exists. The key to a full life lies in not letting yourself be consumed by the ephemeral. This teaching invites us to question our perceptions and emotions, recognizing that true freedom lies in our ability to choose how we respond to present circumstances. To cultivate mindfulness and enjoy the present, it is essential to strengthen our relationships with ourselves and others. Dedicate time to activities that connect you with the now, whether it is playing sports, enjoying a good book, or sharing a meaningful meal with your loved ones. Each present moment is a unique opportunity to experience life in its entirety. Remember, today is the only thing that exists. Tomorrow may be too late. So, what are you waiting for? Immerse yourself in the present moment and discover the beauty that each instant has to offer. 10. The power of action. Have you ever found yourself immobilized by uncertainty and fear? Yes, right? We have all been there. Have you wondered how to transform that fear into strength to move forward? In these crucial moments, the power of action becomes a beacon guiding us towards resolution and progress. The Stoics, wise men of antiquity, taught us the value of decisive action in the face of adversity. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminded us that difficulty shows us the way. This timeless wisdom indicates that true wisdom manifests in action, not in evasion. Action not only solves problems, but is also a path towards personal transformation and growth. By facing obstacles with courage instead of avoiding them, you become the architect of your destiny, forging your character in the crucible of adversity. Every challenge overcome strengthens your determination and cultivates an unbreakable will. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Now, how do we cultivate this determination and will to act in our daily lives? The key is to commit to action instead of succumbing to passivity. Practicing focusing on the present and taking small actions without worrying about the final result frees us from the burden of an uncertain future and empowers us to act with courage here and now. The Stoics demonstrated the value of action with their lives. Seneca taught that fortune favors the brave. This idea emphasizes personal responsibility and the need to face circumstances with courage and resolution. Think for a moment about some of the greatest feats of all time. Do you think they would have been achieved if the leaders who made them possible had given in to fear? If Thomas Edison had allowed the fear of failure to stop him after his thousands of failed attempts, the world would not have known electric light, and our lives would be radically different today. Similarly, if Maya Angelou had given in to the trauma of her childhood and the adversities she faced, she would not have become the powerful literary and social voice that inspired millions. These leaders and many others faced their fears and acted with courage, demonstrating that decisive action can overcome even the most formidable barriers. By embracing the power of action, they transformed their challenges into springboards towards success and innovation, inspiring us all to face our own adversities with courage and determination. Let us now talk about how to apply the power of action in our daily lives. It is essential to set clear goals and take concrete steps towards achieving them. Face each day with the intention of moving forward, no matter how small the step. Learn from each experience and adapt your approach as necessary. Be compassionate with yourself when you make mistakes, allowing yourself to be human and learn without harsh self-judgment. Remember, no one has ever achieved success without having failed countless times along the way. The power of action is a transformative force within you, waiting to be unleashed. Acting in the face of adversity cultivates your determination, strengthens your will, and forges your destiny with courage. Do not fear to act, for in each step forward you will find the strength to overcome any obstacle. Dare to act and discover the unlimited power that lies within you. 11. The importance of detachment. Have you ever felt trapped in a spiral of frustration and disappointment because things did not turn out as expected? Perhaps in a very demanding task at work where you dedicated countless hours only to see results that did not meet your expectations. Or maybe it was a date on which you had placed all your hopes, expecting it to end well, but it did not go as planned. In these moments of disappointment is when the teachings of the Stoics on detachment become especially valuable. These wise thinkers teach us that true self-mastery lies in accepting what is and letting go of what cannot be. Detachment does not mean indifference, but the release of the need to control outcomes that are beyond our reach. By letting go of our expectations and accepting reality as it is, we find an inner serenity that allows us to face challenges with a more balanced and resilient attitude. Epictetus said, "It is not things in themselves that disturb us, but our interpretations of them." Applying this thought, we can understand that our frustrations often stem from our unmet expectations rather than from the events themselves. Practicing detachment allows us to release this emotional burden, focusing on what we can really control, our attitude and response to any situation. This way, we can navigate life with greater calm and clarity, finding in each challenge an opportunity to grow and learn instead of a potential disappointment. Imagine you are on a long-awaited vacation with an itinerary full of activities and places to visit. You have planned each day with precision for a perfect experience. However, you face significant flight delays, weather changes upon arrival, and temporarily closed tourist attractions. What do you think your reaction would be to this series of unforeseen events that completely change your plans? If you stubbornly cling to your original plan, you will feel frustrated and disappointed. But if you detach from your expectations and adapt to the circumstances, you can discover new opportunities to enjoy, explore unplanned places, and relax, appreciating your vacation experience more fully and calmly, even when things do not go as expected. Detachment is not a quality that arises out of nowhere. It is like a muscle that we must train throughout life. But how can we do this? Start with simple yet effective actions. One approach could be to practice meditation exercises focused on letting go of what goes through our minds. Dedicate a few minutes each day to focus on your breathing and let thoughts pass without clinging to them. Also, when facing a stressful situation, practice conscious reflection. Pause and analyze what you can really control. For example, if you face a conflict in your relationships, instead of trying to change the other person, focus on how you can respond with calm and understanding. Finally, cultivate the habit of letting go of unnecessary material objects. Get rid of things you no longer need and that only accumulate dust, learning to appreciate the value of the essential. The philosopher Epictetus reminds us, freedom is the only goal worth seeking in life. It is won by ignoring things that are beyond our control. This thought teaches us that true detachment involves letting go of what we cannot control and finding peace in what we can manage. Remember, the important thing is not the goal or the result. It is the journey and how you have lived it. 12. Cultivating serenity in uncertainty. In the midst of the blows of fate, finding serenity can seem like a challenge, but it is precisely in these moments that calm becomes our greatest strength. The Stoics teach us to maintain inner peace amid turbulence and to find stability even in instability. Tranquility is a matter of the mind, not of circumstances, said the wise Epictetus, reminding us that true serenity comes from within. But when everything around you seems chaotic, how can we find calm? How do we maintain composure amid constant change? The first step is to adopt a flexible and open attitude. Face uncertainty with a mind willing to adapt, like a tree that bends but does not break in the wind. Remember that although you cannot control everything that happens, you can choose how to respond to it. The Stoics offer us practical tools to cultivate serenity. One of them is detachment, learning not to cling too much to material things or expectations, which helps us maintain calm in the face of unexpected changes. Imagine you are on a roller coaster. If you try to resist the movements, you will feel worse. But if you relax and go with the flow, the experience will be more manageable and even fun. In moments of uncertainty, Stoic teachings invite us to focus on the present. Live in accordance with nature, said Epictetus, showing the importance of accepting the present moment without worrying excessively about the future. This perspective helps us find peace and enjoy each moment. The Stoics also provide examples of how to maintain calm in difficult situations. Think of Marcus Aurelius, who maintained serenity while leading during times of war and plague, or Musonius Rufus, the teacher of Epictetus, who endured exile without losing his inner peace. These examples show us that serenity is not an unattainable ideal, but a skill we can develop. Cultivating serenity in daily life means learning to find moments of calm, even amid the daily hustle and bustle. Dedicate a few minutes each day to meditation or contemplation to disconnect from external noise and connect with yourself. Practice gratitude, focusing on the good things you have in your life. Heed the wise words of the emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts, reminding us that inner peace begins with our attitude and perspective. 13. Gratitude as salvation. The Stoics taught us that there is an invisible force that can change our perception and bring us light even on the darkest days. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus, be grateful not only for what you have received, but also for what you have not yet received, for the act of being grateful prepares the heart for abundance. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, teach us that gratitude is not just a practice, but an antidote to despair and discontent. Tell me one thing. What is the first thing you do each morning upon waking up? Perhaps you curse having to go to work or simply look at your phone and start scrolling through notifications. What if I told you that at that precise moment, you have the power to change the rest of your day? Yes, just as you hear it. I propose a challenge. Tomorrow morning, upon waking up, before doing anything else, simply think of 3 things you are grateful for, things that make it worth getting out of bed. This small act can transform your day. Instead of focusing on what is missing or what went wrong, gratitude invites us to find beauty even in difficult moments. Epictetus expressed it this way: gratitude is a recognition of received goodness, and when we cultivate gratitude, we nurture our joy. How do we practice gratitude even in difficult times? The Stoics offer practical strategies. Negative visualization, for example, allows us to imagine the loss of what we have, leading us to appreciate it more fully. If you face a difficult moment, try to see it as an opportunity to grow and learn, rather than an unbearable misfortune. Seneca said, "Gratitude is the key that opens the door to abundance." The Stoics provide us with concrete examples of how to maintain gratitude in adversity, like the case of Epictetus, who, despite being a slave, found reasons to be grateful for the lessons life offered him. These examples show us that gratitude is not an unattainable ideal, but a skill we can develop. To cultivate gratitude permanently, dedicate a few minutes each day to reflecting on the things you are grateful for. Keep a gratitude journal where you can record your thoughts and feelings. Do not underestimate the power of expressing your gratitude to others. A simple thank you can have a profound impact on your relationships. Marcus Aurelius said, "Gratitude is the compass that guides us on the journey of life." Gratitude is a beacon in the darkness, a force that can illuminate even the darkest days. By cultivating it, you transform your perception of reality and find joy even in the midst of adversity. So what are you waiting for? Begin your journey towards a life of gratitude right now. I encourage you to explore the transformative power of these valuable lessons in your daily life. Let every step you take become an opportunity to face and overcome challenges with courage. Remember, overcoming adversity strengthens you. So, the next time you face an obstacle, connect with your inner strength and elevate your life towards a more resilient and authentic existence. Now, if any part of this message has been helpful to you, leave us your like and comment, helping the algorithm recommend it to someone who needs it at this time. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos. And if you look through the videos we've already uploaded, you're sure to find something to take with you. Have a good day.